What's happening, guys? Welcome to our WWE 2K15 Audio Universe Mode series. We're on episode 9. This is week 3, and we are on the week finale, which is Smackdown. Now, before we get to Smackdown episode, the matches, I just want to talk about what has happened as far as SoundCloud is concerned. I may have messaged a couple of you guys just to let you know, but I've been unable to upload any more episodes because, according to SoundCloud, I've passed my upload limit. I've been using it under their free package, so the limit, the amount of time allocated for people who are using it for free, I've passed that limit. So, in order for me to continue uploading episodes, either I have to delete all the episodes to, so to speak, create more time for me to upload more episodes, or I have to upgrade to either of their two pro packages. Now, under my circumstances right now, I can't upgrade to their pro packages, which I think is rather ridiculous that they limit there's a limit to how much you can upload when you're using it for free. Why can't they just allow for everyone, regardless of whether even if they're using it for free, give them unlimited time and space so that they can upload as much as they want? But for those who'd want, extras, the benefits and whatnot, then those guys can upgrade to pro. But unfortunately, this is how it is. So what I'd planned on doing was I'd be uploading my episodes onto ZippyShare. And for those of you who follow me on Twitter, that's where I was going to be posting the link to my future episodes. What I've realized now is what I can do instead is I'll continue on SoundCloud while deleting all the episodes. But those episodes, I'll upload them to ZippyShare. I'm also thinking maybe if Dropbox has unlimited storage space like ZippyShare, maybe I'll switch to Dropbox instead. And what I'll do is in each episode, I'll post the link to my future episodes in the description below. So I really recommend you guys start reading my description in case I have something extra to say that I don't manage to put in the episode. So that's what I'm planning to do. I'll test, hopefully tonight, find out which is better, ZippyShare or Dropbox, hoping that both sites don't shut down in future, because once they're gone, everything I'll upload will be gone as well, because I'm not sure, maybe sometime in the future I'll be able to go pro here on SoundCloud, and then I'll just continue. But at the moment, I can't go pro, and this is what's going to be happening now, deleting all the episodes here on SoundCloud and uploading them to either ZippyShare or Dropbox, and then posting the links to all the episodes for those of you who would want to go back and listen to them. You won't have to worry about not finding them here on SoundCloud. They'll be there elsewhere, and the links will be there for you guys. That's what will be happening. So I do apologize for having to do this. Circumstances beyond my control. I didn't know about the upload limit here on SoundCloud. I assumed that you'll be able to upload as much as you want, but maybe if you want extras, more benefits, that's when you can upgrade to pro. So that's how it is, guys. I hope you understand. Going forward, like I said, this is the Smackdown episode, and after this, we'll have our NXT special episode, and then after that, we will have our pay-per-view episode. We'll have the kick-off episode first, where we just go through the match card briefly, and then we'll have the pay-per-view. I'll see if I'll decide. Maybe I'll split the pay-per-view into two parts, part 1 and part 2. I'll figure that out, but definitely kickoff episode first, then our pay-per-view, just so you guys know. So, in this episode of Smackdown, we first start off with a rare appearance by the chairman of the board. You know who he is, WWE's own Mr. McMahon. And he's in the ring with our general manager, Teddy Long, to make a big announcement regarding Extreme Rules. Mr. McMahon revealed that at Extreme Rules, another new championship will be fought for, will be introduced at the pay-per-view. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the WWE World Television Championship. Now, as far as I know, WWE didn't have a TV championship. I don't think they needed one, since they had the major title, then they had the Intercontinental title, they had the European Championship, and then when WCW got involved, I think they got the US title from WCW, bringing it into WWE. But WCW had a TV championship, ECW had one, Ring of Honor has one, TNA, if I'm not mistaken, had one, the NWA TV title, I'd have to confirm, I'm pretty sure they had it. So WWE has never had a TV championship until now, in this series, introduced for the first time ever. Now, Mr. McMahon added that the title will be fought for in a multi-man battle royal at the pay-per-view. The winner, of course, winning the title. The championship will be defended every week on a different show. So, for example, if an NXT guy wins the title, on the first week they'll defend the title on NXT. Then on the second week it will be on Smackdown, and then the final week it will be on Raw. Of course, the title will be defended at the pay-per-views as well. So while they're defending the titles every week, a contender will be prepared for the pay-per-view encounter. Who knows, maybe by the time we get to the pay-per-view, that number one contender will be facing a new champion. We'll have to find out, but that's how it is. And just as an extra warning, Mr. McMahon lets people know that when you lose the TV championship, you will not get a rematch. You will go to the back of the line immediately, and you'll have to work your way up to being number one contender for the title. So this is how much they've put into this championship, and he's hoping that the superstars who will get to be TV champion will put as much effort into it each week and at the pay-per-view, and we'll get to see which superstars really are worth being World Television Champion. So that title will be introduced at Extreme Rules, multi-man battle royal, winner takes all, over the top rope, just to make sure, in case people are wondering, is it over the top rope or is it pinfall submission royal like in the games? It's over the top rope. We'll find out who will be part of this battle royal at Extreme Rules, so look forward to that. So we'll move on to our first match. This is a Falls Count Anywhere, and it is a rematch to the champion versus champion match we had on Raw between the Intercontinental Champion Randy Orton and the United States Champion, the big guy, Ryback. Now, if you guys remember, in the Raw episode, their fight ended as a double count-out when these guys, they took their fighting outside the ring. They ignored the ref's 10 count. He had no choice but to call for the bell, and they were both counted out. But now, it's a Falls Count Anywhere, no disqualifications, no count-out. They can fight anywhere they want. The ref will follow them all over the arena, and they can go all out in preparation for their title defense matches at Extreme Rules, Randy Orton defending the Intercontinental Championship against Cody Rhodes, and Ryback defending the US title against the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin, in the final of their ongoing best of 5 series for the championship, and it will be a last man standing match. So this Falls Count Anywhere serves to warm these guys up, prepare them for their big matches at the pay-per-view. Which of these champions will get the advantage, gain some momentum leading up to that pay-per-view and their big match happening there. Now the Viper, being no stranger to using his environment to his advantage, took the early advantage over the big guy, making use of whatever he could find, weapons, stuff he could grab from the audience, to weaken and soften up the US champion and hopefully lead to finishing him off in record time. But Ryback, he worked out what Randy Orton was working out, figured out his plan, his moves, countered them, and fought his way back to even the score against the Viper, weakening the Intercontinental Champion, softening him up because he's been leading the fight from the get-go. He's exhausted now. Ryback starts wearing him out. They fight outside the ring, over the barricade, through the crowd, up to the technical section. Ryback shell-shocking Randy Orton through a table full of supplies, and Randy Orton was taken out. Ryback goes for the cover, gets the win over the Intercontinental Champion, gaining some momentum leading up to his big match at Extreme Rules. But his celebration is cut short with the arrival of the Texas Rattlesnake himself, Stone Cold Steve Austin, just to give him one last stare down before their showdown at Extreme Rules. Ryback reminding him that he is the US title by raising the championship in Steve Austin's face, just to let him know that he'll be the guy walking out of Extreme Rules still United States champion, regardless of what Steve Austin brings in that last man standing match. Or Steve Austin surprise the champion, bringing his A game and then some into that match and beating Ryback to become the new US champion? We'll have to find out at Extreme Rules. Big match, guys. Ryback, Steve Austin, US title, last man standing match. Next up, we have Captain Charisma Christian out in the ring to address the situation. Now, as you guys know, Christian and Edge have been clashing with D-Generation X for the past 2 weeks, and it's coming to a head now, and it looks like Christian and Edge will have no choice but to take on D-Generation X at Extreme Rules, despite the heavy numbers advantage that DX has over Christian and Edge. It's 6 against 2. They don't really have a chance, and DX, of course, coming out to remind Christian that his decision to have this match is silly, is foolish, and he knows that they don't stand a chance against DX. It will be a massacre, a mugging, if you'd want to add that. What chance does he have against these guys? Now, it would have been 7 against 2, but of course Randy Orton, he doesn't want to perform double duty at the pay-per-view. He'll be defending the Intercontinental Championship, so it'll be 6 versus 2 until someone comes out changing the complexion of the situation. Who else but the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, the People's Champion, The Rock, coming out to address DX and Christian, who was alone because Edge still recovering from the attack that fell upon him on Monday Night Raw. He'll be in action at Extreme Rules, but tonight Christian was out, and here comes The Rock to talk to these guys, he addresses DX, upset that DX got involved in that six-man ladder contract match that happened on Monday Night Raw to determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. And because of that, The Rock, he's come to Christian and Edge's side, and he's not alone. Coming with The Rock is Kurt Angle, Rob Van Dam, and a man who has some history against DX. If you remember, guys, episode 0, we talked about this guy. He came back at Elimination Chamber to compete in that WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder Elimination Chamber match. Of course, DX got involved and he didn't get a chance to win that match. I'm talking about TNA's Destroyer, Bobby Lashley, coming out as well to join Edge and Christian and these other guys to fight against DX, and the match has been turned into a 6-on-6 team elimination battle, meaning that all competitors are legal in this match. There'll be referees everywhere to keep up with the action, just like the Survivor Series traditional team elimination match. You gotta eliminate your opponents. The last team standing wins the match. You can eliminate someone by pinfall or submission. So there you have it, guys. D-Generation X, Triple H, Batista, Ric Flair, the New Age Outlaws, HBK against Edge and Christian, The Rock, Kurt Angle, Rob Van Dam, and Lashley. 6 versus 6 team elimination battle at Extreme Rules. Will this be DX's last stand, or will they overcome the challenge? And you also have to consider Edge's injuries. Will they play a factor in this match? Will he be the weakest link, or will he be the trump card for the team somehow? We'll find out at Extreme Rules, and we move on to our main event. This was a short episode, as I was saying, because, well, I'm just upset about the whole SoundCloud thing. But at the same time, I just wanted to keep all the other competitors set for the pay-per-view. So just 2 matches should be enough. And, of course, the segments that we had, McMahon talking about the WWE World Television Championship. And, of course, just now, Christian getting some teammates against D-Generation X for a big match at Extreme Rules. Our main event announced on Monday Night Raw. This is an 8-man tag team match. We've got the Primetime Players, number 1 contenders to the WWE Tag Team Championship, teaming up against the champions, Enzo Amore and Big Cass, Colin Cassidy, taking on the legends, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, and the Brothers of Destruction, the Phenom, the Undertaker, and the Big Red Monster, Kane. Now, as you guys know, the number 1 contenders, the Primetime Players, and the champions had started a challenge, taking on legendary tag teams, superstars from the past, just to prove that as a team they can take on the best of the best from the good days. Unfortunately, both the Primetime Players and the champions failed to defeat their first opponents. Primetime Players lost to Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. The champions lost to the Brothers of Destruction. And on Monday Night Raw, Hogan talked to these guys saying, okay, we'll give you one last shot. Can you guys work together against us? And this is what led to this big main event. Now, this was the last big match before these 2 teams square off in the rematch from their WrestleMania encounter at Extreme Rules. The WWE Tag Team titles are on the line, but this time they'd have to work together if they're planning to defeat these legendary teams. The pressure was on, and the question on most people's minds was, can these 2 teams coexist, knowing that they'll square off in just a couple of days for the tag team titles, can they defeat these legends together? Now, the legends, of course, they've known each other for years. They worked together smoothly. Everything was flowing between them. Chemistry was there. As for their opponents, it took them a while to find that chemistry, took them a while to work together, and that's when the legends, they took advantage of that, having the upper hand on these youngsters with in the openings of the match. The Brothers of Destruction taking on the Primetime Players, while the champions took on Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. The one thing that had changed for these younger teams was they no longer felt intimidated by being in the ring with these legends. They had overcome their fears. They were now ready to fight them on even ground, despite the vast experience that these legends have over them. They went against them toe to toe, move for move. You can notice that Big Cass, he's 7 foot tall. Yeah, 7 foot tall. He held his own against Taker and Kane, while the Primetime Players, they showed Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior that they had learned from their encounter 2 Raws back. They had improved and they were ready to defeat these guys tonight before their big match at Extreme Rules. Of course, the Primetime Players, they would take care of the Brothers of Destruction, getting them out of the ring, while the champions would square off against Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, leading up to Big Cass taking both of these guys down in preparation for Enzo's big top turnbuckle splash. But he would not just land one on Hogan, he would have enough strength to land one on the Ultimate Warrior, getting that massive pin over these legends for the 1-2-3, winning the match for their team and, of course, the Primetime Players. The celebration was there. For once, these guys were on the same side, but that didn't last very long because the titles were raised against the Primetime Players as a reminder that we worked together tonight, but come Extreme Rules, this is on the line and we're taking you guys on for the titles. So that was our main event for Smackdown. Short episode, I know, but like I'd said, I'm still upset about the whole SoundCloud thing. Hopefully I can sort that out and we can continue with this series, because I'd want to continue this series, bringing it to you guys who are enjoying it so far. Again, I'm assuming that most of you, at least most of you, are wrestling fans who know what Universe Mode is, and if you're unable to follow any of the Universe Mode series on YouTube, you at least have this series that you can follow anytime, anywhere. You can just treat it like a regular podcast series. Listen to it anytime, anywhere, wherever you can. So that was our Smackdown episode. And speaking of Smackdown, I was supposed to review last week's episode of Smackdown on this episode, as well as NXT, Ring of Honor, and TNA. It was not really, and Lucha Underground, of course. Okay, so let's start with Smackdown. Just to cover the highlights from that episode, there was the Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins promo exchange at the start of the show. That was fun, because anytime Paul Heyman shows up, it's business. We pay attention, and you know it's gonna pay off. And just like that, this segment, despite having, Seth Rollins, it paid off. It was fun to watch. You didn't have to fast forward or anything. Paul Heyman reminding Seth Rollins about Lesnar, of course, as a build to their encounter at Battleground this Sunday. It's Monday today. And of course, Rollins trying to enforce He stands as the WWE champion. He believes that he will walk out of Battleground still as WWE champion, and I'm pretty sure he will somehow, not cleanly, definitely. Looking at what happened with J&J, and maybe Kane will come back tonight from his vacation, because I'm pretty sure J&J are out for the time being. I'm not sure if they'll be healthy enough to pop up at Battleground, but you never know with the Authority. So I don't think Lesnar will win the championship at Battleground. Perhaps at SummerSlam, maybe over the time leading up to SummerSlam, they'll come up with a stipulation that will prevent the Authority from coming to Seth Rollins' aid. Maybe things will go sour between them again, leading up to Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar one-on-one for the championship. Seth Rollins going at it on his own, and maybe we'll see him step up like what he did at Money in the Bank against Dean Ambrose, that ladder match. Maybe we'll see that side of Seth Rollins against Brock Lesnar. Maybe he'll actually put on a fight against the Beast. Nothing like what happened to Kofi Kingston at Beast in the East. I want to see Seth Rollins actually fight against Brock Lesnar. I hope it won't be a repeat of what happened last SummerSlam. You know, the 16 German suplexes that were given to John Cena, and he lost the championship. Sure, they can be suplexes against Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, but I'm hoping he'll at least fight back, you know, have some offense against the Beast. That's what I'm hoping for. So again, I don't think Lesnar will win the championship at Battleground. We also had Bo Dallas versus Dean Ambrose. That was actually a decent match. Good to watch though, because most of the time whenever Bo Dallas comes out, it doesn't really last that long. You don't expect him to, you know, have a lot of moves to bring into the match before he's hit by his opponent's finisher. Then next thing you know, he's the one getting pinned. So yeah, that was a decent match to watch. It was longer than I expected, but of course Dean Ambrose got the win. And I'm not sure what direction they have for Dean Ambrose at this point. He's no longer in the WWE title picture. He's definitely nowhere near the Intercontinental or Tag Team. Yeah, I shouldn't be not Tag Team, but maybe US. He's nowhere near those pictures. So I really wonder what happens with Ambrose now. Are they starting him in a program against Bo Dallas? Though he's had 2 victories over Bo Dallas now, so I don't really think that's much of a program. Wondering who will step up against Dean Ambrose. What happens to him? Hopefully he won't, you know, disappear into mid-card, or they'll have nothing else to do with him, because that seems to be the trend with WWE. They find a superstar, they push him, and if it doesn't go as planned, they'll toss him aside. He ends up on mid-card doing absolutely nothing. So I hope that won't happen with Dean Ambrose. I hope they have something big planned for him, if not at Battleground, maybe something for SummerSlam going forward. Rusev was in action. I'm glad that he's healthy again. It's been a while, other than having him revolve around this Dolph Ziggler, Lana situation, and with Summer Rae involved as well now. So I'm pretty sure for SummerSlam we'll have a mixed tag team match, Rusev and Summer Rae against Dolph Ziggler and Lana. So I'm wondering what's set for Battleground. Who's Rusev gonna be taking on? And probably it will be on the kickoff show. I'm not sure if they have anything major planned for him on the actual pay-per-view. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Rusev will be up to in the meantime while Dolph Ziggler is out of action. We also had Big Show versus Roman Reigns. We've seen it before. It was just an okay match. Of course, Bray Wyatt would get involved. He would have the last hurrah, Sister Abigail to Roman Reigns again. I'm really not sure how their battleground match will go, but I think, well, I'd like to assume that Bray Wyatt will win it. At least it will keep their little feud going on a little bit longer, because perhaps we'll have Roman Reigns get his revenge at SummerSlam. Perhaps it will be a match with a stipulation to be a special match. I wouldn't say last man standing match. No. Street fight maybe? I'm not sure, but that's what I'm thinking, that Bray Wyatt will have his victory over Roman Reigns at Battleground, and then they'll have a rematch at SummerSlam where Roman Reigns will win it. Then they'll have their showdown at Night of Champions. That seems to be the trend with Bray Wyatt, because, well, even if Roman Reigns defeats Bray Wyatt in the end and he moves on, what happens to Bray Wyatt? At this point, I can't really see anyone who can feud with Bray Wyatt and make it meaningful. So I'm not sure how long they're gonna stretch this feud. Hopefully, it'll go on for a while and they'll add more elements into it, because at least it's something that both of these guys can be doing, rather than, they have a short feud, they go their separate ways, and they've got nothing else important to do afterwards, like what has happened with Bray Wyatt. I think from the time he feuded with John Cena, and then next thing he's feuding with Dean Ambrose. That looked promising, but again, Dean Ambrose was getting the short end of that stick, and of course, though Wyatt came out on top in that feud, but when he moved on to Undertaker, I think most of us were sure that he's not going to win this feud. It's going to be like what happened with him and John Cena. You'd think that he's going to come out on top, but he lost to Cena. WrestleMania, this year's WrestleMania, he loses to The Undertaker, who had come back after losing to Brock Lesnar, end of the streak. So, again, I'm hoping Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, they push it for a while, make it meaningful, add some more elements, if they can, into it. Something for these guys to do in the meantime until they know what else they can do for these guys moving forward. We had some Divas Action Tag Team, Alicia Fox and Brie Bella taking on Naomi and Tamina. Decent match. It was just a match you'd expect to find on Smackdown. Nothing major, no development whatsoever. Just a match that's there. You'd expect. Nikki was got involved, of course, with the distraction, allowing Alicia Fox to hit, I think it was Naomi, with the scissor kick and get the, was it? No. Either it wasn't Naomi. I think it was Tamina. Yeah, it was Tamina. Hit with the scissor kick, then the pin. They get the win. I'm not sure where they're taking the Divas at this point. Most people are speculating that some NXT women are going to be moved up to the main roster to team up with Paige against Team Bella, as they're called now. I'm not sure, though I would like that to happen, because right now I feel that's what the main roster needs, some fresh blood, and hopefully with the coming of these NXT women, they won't be turned into divas. If you get what I mean. By divas, I mean, they don't get enough time in the ring. They're put into ridiculous storylines, or, they're just prepped up for total divas. As opposed to being what they were on NXT, they were female wrestlers getting in there, having enough time to perform and put on great matches. So that's my biggest worry about these NXT women being moved up to the main roster. They'll be turned into divas. So I hope that won't be the case. And maybe once they're up there in the main roster, we'll have some direction for these women. And this is just my own idea, but for those of you who've been following my series, my Audio Universe Mode series, I unified the Divas Championship and the NXT Women's Championship to sort of revive the WWE Women's Championship. So I'm hoping that's something they'll do on WWE. Unify those championship titles, have one belt, and then also introduce a tag team championship for the women. I mean, they definitely would need that championship. There are a lot of divas. We can call them divas, but I'm hoping they won't be turned into divas. Yeah, I hope you get that. But there are a lot of divas who could make great tag teams, and they would need a championship just to showcase that. That's an idea. I hope they'll think about it moving forward. Maybe Triple H and Stephanie have plans for that. If they do, we're on the same page. Make it happen. Also, we had Randy Orton cutting a promo about his feud with Sheamus. Was it the previous episode or the Raw episode? I'm not sure, but there was an episode where, I had fantasy booked Sheamus going forward, and I had suggested that to make his feud with Orton mean something, because I doubt a lot of people are, really hyped about it. Why not have Randy Orton have his eyes on the briefcase? He's been Money in the Bank before. What's stopping him from eyeing the briefcase and aiming to be Mr. Money in the Bank once again? Kind of like what happened with Edge and Mr. Kennedy. Although Mr. Kennedy, I think he was injured, and I think he was on his way out of the company. I know he was injured, but whether he was going out of the company after that or not, I'm not sure. Edge defeated Mr. Kennedy for the briefcase, becoming Mr. Money in the Bank. So why doesn't Orton challenge Sheamus for the briefcase? Big match for SummerSlam there, if they're having a match at Battleground. But yeah, that's an idea, because right now, if they're just feuding for the sake of it, what happens after the feud ends? No direction again. So they should just make use of the briefcase. It's there. Orton kicked it away on was it Monday Night Raw? Yeah, Monday Night Raw. He kicked it away. I think Sheamus, he tweeted about it, so they should start something based on that. Rather than just having them feud for the sake of it. That's just my idea. So Orton was cutting a promo about that, and of course, we just wait for their match, probably at Battleground, like I was saying. And right in the middle of his promo, out comes the Ascension, who I really think they were big deals on NXT, but now on the main roster, they're just treated like, like they weren't a big deal, like they don't hold currently the longest record for the longest reign as NXT Tag Team Champions. They hold that record right now. No other team has come up to pass that record. But here they are on the main roster. They're not treated like they were a big deal on NXT. Perhaps maybe because the main roster crowd they don't see them as that, and so maybe that was taken up by Mr. McMahon and his team, and they're like, yeah, let's not push these guys. The crowd isn't reacting to them like on NXT, so let's just tone them down. And this is what has happened with the Ascension. I think, as far as I know, they've only had 2 major victories. They had a victory over Axel and Sandow, or Macho Mandow as he was called. And I think they had a victory over was it the New Age Outlaws? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, when they debuted, that was the team they took on and they defeated them. I'm not sure what direction they're taking the Ascension, but they should stop squashing these guys, treating them like they're not a big deal. Give them a chance to do something with them. Yeah, that's my take on the Ascension. Do something with them, push them forward, make them mega heels. They deserve to be, because I think the formula that seems to be taken up a lot is you start someone as a heel until the crowd starts liking them, and then you turn them babyface. In some cases, if you start off as a babyface, it works out for you and you continue that way. But as we've seen with the Ascension, fans are not liking them. They're heels currently. Fans are not liking them. So I don't see them getting pushed anytime soon. But I wish they would. It would add some flavor to the tag team division. I know they're trying to revive the tag team division, but they can't really do that if they're just going to focus on a couple of teams while pushing down other teams. They should include everyone, get everyone a chance in the spotlight. That's my take on the Ascension. They came out to disrupt Orton's time in the ring. They got RKO'd, both of them, just for the crowd's entertainment. RKO's always welcome. So yeah, that's what happened with the Ascension. Then the main event, of course, the rematch. Champion, was it a rematch? No, I'm thinking of my episode, sorry. It was a champion versus champion match. Ryback versus Rollins. A decent match again. The champion, Rollins, decides to hightail it as being the Weasel champion that he is. I really wish he would have actually given Ryback a match. I mean, from the little interview he had with Michael Cole that they showed, Ryback, he is being built as a proper champion against Rollins, the WWE champion, who's being a weasel and all that. I mean, come on. You might as well give Ryback the WWE title, because he is proving to be a fighting champion. He actually wants to fight. But of course, Rollins, being the weasel, hightails out of it. And then Show comes out to help Rollins. Earlier in the evening, Rollins spoke with Show. And I think that led to Show taking on Roman Reigns earlier. And now Show was coming to help Rollins against Ryback. That team up didn't last very long, because Roman Reigns, he would step out to even the playing field, taking out Rollins, and the Big Show helping out Ryback against them. That was Smackdown. NXT. What happened on NXT? There was the tag team number 1 contenders match between Enzo Amore and Big Cass against the Vaudevillains. Good match. The Vaudevillains won that one. I think they will face the champions, Blake and Murphy. I think they'll probably face them at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. I'm pretty sure, though they haven't officially made that match. The only match they've made so far is the rematch for the NXT Championship, Finn Balor and Kevin Owens. That's the match I know of so far. But for the tag team match, nothing yet, but I'm assuming that's when it's going to be. We also had Dana Brooke and Emma taking on. It was gonna be a 2-on-1 against Sasha, but as I was hoping, Charlotte came out, teamed up with Sasha, but also on one condition, that she owes Charlotte a favor. They defeated Dana Brooke and Emma, and the condition was Sasha defends her title against Charlotte this week on NXT. Sasha, no problem, she'll put the title on the line. So this week we'll have that NXT Women's Championship match, Sasha Banks against Charlotte. I'm pretty sure Sasha will retain the championship. If she does, then I'm curious to see who will be her challenger at Brooklyn. I don't think it will be Becky Lynch again. Well, you never know. I mean, they did the same thing with Finn Balor. He was number one contender. He fought Kevin Owens on an episode of NXT. He lost. He became number one contender again. He defeated Kevin Owens. So could that be the same stance they'll take up for Sasha Banks and Becky? Will Becky heal up, become number one contender, and face Sasha Banks again and defeat her in Brooklyn? Or will a new challenger step up? We'll find out, because I don't think Bayley as well. Bayley probably will have a rivalry, revenge match against Emma, maybe at TakeOver Brooklyn. I don't think it should be on an episode of NXT. It should be saved for Brooklyn, where Bayley can have a big win over Emma. And maybe we'll have Charlotte versus Dana Brooke at TakeOver as well. That's just my take. TNA. The only thing I'll say about TNA is they should stop trying to be like WWE. With EC3 being champion now, and he was making these rules for these guys. It just felt like something you'd expect to find on WWE. It just felt like it wasn't something groundbreaking or new. But yeah, they should stop trying to be like WWE or using stuff that you'd expect to find on WWE. Try something different. And although I liked that the TNA president, Dixie Carter, came out at the end to talk to EC3 about defending his championship, and that she isn't the one who's in charge. He's not in charge, but someone else is in charge. That should have left most of us intrigued to find out who's this authority figure who's going to be introduced, hopefully soon. What direction will TNA take from there? Looking forward to seeing that. I'm also interested to see how far the reign of EC3 as champion will go. I hope it will be something meaningful and it won't turn into, like what's happening with Seth Rollins right now. Ring of Honor. Dalton Castle was in action. He's an interesting guy, interesting character. Hoping to see how far he can go. Because I took him for granted at Best in the World when he was taking on, I think, Silas Young. I hope that's his name. I took him for granted. I thought it was just another one of these clown characters who's just there to be squashed, despite, being the most entertaining in that match. But he can wrestle. He can put on a good match. So I'm hoping to see how far he can go. Of course, the doubles champion, Ring of Honor TV champion and Ring of Honor World champion, Jay Lethal. He'll be defending the TV title. He's not going to give up either of those titles, which was good. I don't want him to give up any of them. I want him to defend both of them, just to prove that he really is best in the world right now. So he'll be defending the TV title against Mark Briscoe on this week's episode of Ring of Honor. And of course, he'll be defending the world title against the number one contender Roderick Strong, Mr. ROH, as he's called. He'll be defending that title against him at their next big special pay-per-view, the Death Before Dishonor. Yes, Death Before Dishonor. That's where he'll be defending the title. So I'm hoping to see how far will he go undefeated. How far will he go as this doubles champion? Who will be the guy who will defeat him for the TV title? Who will be the guy who will defeat him for the world title? That was Ring of Honor. And Lucha Underground, they're building up to their season finale, where they'll have their, as I've found out, is their equivalent to WrestleMania. They call it Ultima Lucha or Ultima Lucha to the Spanish guys. I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping they'll come back for season 2, because this, for those of us who've been looking for something different from, TNA, WWE, Ring of Honor, I guess, this is the show to watch. And if it goes away, what happens? That special show is gone. So for those of you who've been, wondering, should I watch Lucha, should I not? Watch Lucha Underground, even though you're going to pick a show to watch on Wednesday night. But all the other shows, watch them on Thursday. Check out Lucha Underground. My recommendation is the Iron Man match between the champion, Prince Puma. He was defending the title against Johnny Mundo. Start from there and then carry on. If that match doesn't convince you to watch Lucha Underground and, take it up as a weekly show, wrestling show, then I'm not sure what you're looking for, because there are a lot of diehard fans who are mainly for WWE or Ring of Honor or maybe TNA, NXT, and New Japan. But Lucha Underground is something worth watching. And you know what? It doesn't suck. You know what I mean? Apparently, it has the best backstage segments out of all the wrestling shows right now. Can you believe that? It has the best backstage segments out of all the wrestling shows right now. That's a big statement. And you know what? It fits the bill. It does have the best segments, because with Lucha Underground, there was an interview. One of the editors, he worked on Tough Enough with Stone Cold. He was on the podcast last week. He says that, Lucha Underground is a show with wrestling. It's not, and they work very hard to present it that way. It's a TV show that has wrestling, So they put effort in those backstage segments. They're treated as scenes rather than, like the segments we're so used to in WWE and the like. So there's a lot of effort put into them. That's why they're so good. And of course, the in-ring action, superb, worth the watch. For those of you who've been wanting to check out Lucha action, this is the show for you. And I hope more fans will be behind Lucha Underground. Allow it to have a season 2 and beyond. Let's have some more shows out there, because if TNA goes in September, as the rumors have been spreading about it, we won't have anything else to talk about. So this is the time, because we've got all these shows, all this variety as far as wrestling show goes. This is the chance for us to enjoy what's happening, and hopefully it'll force WWE to step up as far as Monday Night Raw is concerned. And also, maybe they'll revive Smackdown in the sense of making it as good as it used to be, because believe me, there was a time when Smackdown was better than Raw. Yeah, that's my take. So that was our Smackdown episode. Again, I'll sort out the SoundCloud issue, hopefully as soon as possible. I'll see you on our next episode, the NXT special. I'll reveal the name of that special in that episode. So thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed Smackdown. We'll see you then.